what AI and robotization takes away is one, the repetitive part, and the other is the boring part of things, right? So there's a lot of boring part of your work, like analysis of documents and data and all that, which these things take away and give you much more better insights and error-free insights at the end of the day, right? So that is what is helping the industry do all this. I'm now wondering, how are your organizations, or what organizations should come up with in terms of policies or frameworks or marketing around all this? How do you ensure the people get the right message? Because all the movies that have based on AI have been about the doom of the world, right? So how do you change that picture? How do you change the story with policies and frameworks and anything in the organization?
I like the way you ended. You ended before you asked this question, where you said the boring part will sort of get eliminated, and you have scores of HR consulting firms, be it the Gallup or McKinsey, or all of them talking about engagement is dipping and so on and so forth. You need to do this. We have this product. Come on, take it on, of sorts. So engaging people has been a big problem and is continuing to grow as a bigger problem. And if the boring part can be reduced by AI, the interesting part remains and the engagement should go high. So I think AI definitely can play a role in increasing the engagement of the roles. The richness of the roles definitely goes up.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Taking on from what Rishi spoke about, the negative reinforcement model adopted by Maharashtra government, I think a lot of positive reinforcement is what organizations would adopt. So we'll say, okay, and I see that in many organizations already. You pick up the certifications, then your increment goes up by so much. Or either like a negative reinforcement saying that if you don't complete these courses, then you are not eligible for the next role, right? So different strategies, but primarily organization nudging people to upskill themselves more by pull rather than by push, opening up different work streams, giving whatever visibility in terms of career paths or roles that are likely to emerge in future, and asking people to pitch themselves for those roles by upskilling themselves. I think that's the ecosystem that organizations will look at. Might be challenging for smaller organizations because I think the economics, shelf life of skills, roles, that all that are much shorter in a smaller organization. But larger organizations will adopt this approach of creating an ecosystem where multiple career pathways are enabled, and it's up to the employee to pick the skills and chart their destiny of sorts.
Yeah. Thank you. Dr. Rishi, you want to
add? Just to add it further, as Ram was saying, that it's important for the organization. I will not say the learning and development department, but as a complete leadership, to ensure that the comprehensive upskilling is happening. And forward-thinking organizations, they need to create an environment that embrace and unlock the potential of whole employees, not the part of employees, I'll call it. In fact, one of the initiative I can share with you is that I created a 15 hours of digital transformation program, which is mandatory from the frontliner to the managing director. Same course, which consists of artificial intelligence, critical advanced analytics, augmented reality, and critical thinking and collaboration. These soft skills come that. So it is mandatory, 15 hours program. You have to complete in 2 months, get a certification. And of course, if you have done this certification, you will get an additional points in the PMS, performance rating system. If you're not done it, there's no negative marking, but if you have done it, it is an additional point. So that is working very well for us, and similar kind of initiatives has to be taken, because what I've seen is I shortlisted this course after a lot of research. Many companies, they give these courses, like, let me name it, LinkedIn Learning or Skillsoft and other things, which leave it to them. It's like cluster bombing. You want to take it, you take it. You don't want to take it, you don't take it. So that is what exactly happens. So any learning initiative has to be done in a marketing fashion. So then only it will be adapted and implemented. So I don't leave it to that. Once the people are certified, then we give them projects which can increase productivity or reduce, cost or increase operational efficiency. So these are some of the things, and I am engaging with IIT professionals and some other institutes where I'm getting mentors from there, and so that we do an overall execution of the learning kind of thing.
Sure.
So you have to close the loop accordingly, my dear friend.
Yeah. So positive reinforcements and marketing efforts that have to go in terms of like the positive side of things is important part of that. Sudeep, you want to add to this?
Yeah, I do feel that, we're putting a bit too much of the onus on the organizations themselves. And while I agree companies have a critical role to play in this, but I feel that the journey starts much earlier, right from education. So, how are we thinking about schooling, for example? How are we thinking about vocational schools, which still haven't really taken off in India to such a great extent? So can we tweak that and make that more tuned to saying, how do we anticipate the job that will be there for the future? And how do we start training our people for that? We spoke about these massive online courses, right? Unfortunately, the actual take-up is much lesser than what we anticipated. And that's probably because what Dr. Vishu said, bad marketing and not very well targeted, right? So how do we leverage that? And what can government do to provide that framework? So for example, providing incentives to companies to reskill their workers, or companies which are like an automotive, right? We know that the automotive industry is the most ripe for job displacement due to automation and robotization. So if you come back and say that I'm not letting go of workers, instead I'm investing in reskilling, give them benefits, give them tax benefits and stuff like that. So I think a slightly more concerted effort across multiple parts of the framework will really help. Right now, I see either two reactions. People are either running around scared, or they are a bit like ostrich in the sand and just pretending it doesn't exist, right? There was this report I think IIM Ahmedabad released a couple of days ago, saying that 4 out of 5 Indian companies are not ready to use AI to generate and to increase their profits in their. I mean, forget about workers. They've not even thought through using and how to leverage AI for actual core business. So I feel there's a long way to go. There are some green shoots here and there that are good, but I feel there's a long way to go, and it does need a more concerted effort, because if educational institutions do it and companies do it, or companies do it, government doesn't, it's not going to work together.
Last question, one-line answers. What is your one-line recommendation to CEOs of organizations in terms of how should they cater and get their organization ready for the future around this?
Let me start since that way, that either adapt or become dinosaurs.
I'll go with the Peter Singh's mission, where he says building an organization as a learning organization, not about individuals learning, but organization learning as an ecosystem. And he says the biggest differentiator for an organization that will thrive is how quickly the organization as an entity learns and evolves. So focus on building your company as a learning organization.
I would use the TAP model: be transparent, be an advocate, and be prepared. I think the combination will work, will do well for leaders.